Okay, so I'm just outside the barn and I found a willing person, Ashley, to answer some questions about what it's like to live here. In the background we have another great guy named Steve. He just came here to Hawaii by boat in a sailing race with his brother from California. The people that you meet when you're out here are just so interesting, and they're living authentic lives, and they've done so many cool things. Ashley's a musician. She's traveled all over the U.S. She's done so many interesting things. And look at her, she's only 29. I'm sorry, I had to tell them.
Oh.
She looks like she's 21.
You blew my cover.
So when you're living this healthy life, I mean, you really keep your vitality and your youthfulness naturally. And this is what amazes me, because so many women, we go into other areas of, let's say, LA, and everyone's got these plastic Botox faces on, and they're desperately trying to keep their youth. And here's a woman who's looking beautiful naturally just by living a healthy life.
Vogue. Anyway.
This is Ashley. So how long have you lived here on the farm?
On this farm since May.
Since May, and we're in August now. Okay.
About 4 months-ish.
Okay. And how did you find out about them?
I was living in Haiku, about an hour and a half away, and on the more young party side, you can say. And I met some people at a party, and they lived out in the jungle, and I'd never been to the jungle, and they brought me out here to their farm. And I met the landowners, and just the rest is history. Just wanted to live out here the instant I came out here.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And have you ever lived on farms before?
I have. I've been farming for probably about 10 years. For the past 5 years, I've done it as my own business in Washington State.
Wow.
And so I wanted to move to Maui to try to do it here and just learn about a new climate. Yeah, a new habitat. Just try it in a place that's challenging.
And what kind of business did you have in Washington?
It was just organic farm. We just grew basically 2 acres of organic produce.
Great.
With goats and chickens.
Great.
Flowers and herbs. So we sold everything to local stores, restaurants, etc. Just kind of, here we go. And a little bit of CSA action there, yeah.
And were you living a healthy lifestyle before you got into the farming, or did it kind of all come together?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say when I was younger, I wasn't as conscious of what I was putting into my body. But as, you know, the people I hung out with changed, my thoughts changed, and I was exposed to more nutritious ideas, I would say. Yeah, it comes all together. It's one big package. I mean, there's definitely people who farm who... I find it hard to believe that there's people that farm that eat really bad stuff all the time. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't really go together.
No.
So out here, I mean, we're not that removed from civilization. It's a mile and a half to the main road, and from the main road you can drive 30 minutes to Hana, or you can drive an hour and a half to Paia, which is, you know, they have markets and restaurants and stuff, but it's still relatively remote because they're on solar power here, so the power is always an issue. You know, you have to charge things when the generator is running, and you have to be thinking about power all the time, and also the internet is very, very slow, and there's only one computer to share between everybody, so you have to give up a lot when you're living out here. And my question is, you know, do you miss anything when you're living out here?
Oh my goodness. I do. I miss just general exposure to goings-on of like nightlife and people, culture, social culture, of course, because, you know, I'm not that old enough to be settling down. And as an artist, musician, I need that. Just being around people. But as far as what, you know, is kind of nurturing me emotionally, the solitude is really great. I need that as well. So I can go to the social scene and then leave and revert back to my sanctuary.
So it's definitely not for everybody, this kind of life, because if you can't be by yourself, if you can't be still with your own mind, you're going to have a hard time working out here in quiet nights. Everyone's going to bed at 9, 10 o'clock and waking up early and doing their work and then having the rest of the day to themselves. So
it's definitely when you live in a busier area, it's something I don't miss, is that, the noise. Just the quietude is bliss for me. Yeah. Very much so.
Quietude.
Quietude.
So, do you think you'll stick around for a while, or what's your next adventure? Do you have any idea?
Oh, that's hard to say. I mean, it's a balance between wanting to be in nature and farm and grow food and just sustain life for myself, be productive, but also want to explore. I mean, Steve and I were talking about boats and sailing. It's been a passion. I mean, interest, I'd say, of mine in the last couple of years that I really am looking towards getting into. So who knows? But I think that this is definitely a place I'll come back to for years.
Right.
Just pop in and out. If not this farm, then of course Maui.
Another area.
For sure.
Well, she was asking me a lot about Thailand the other night, so maybe we can see her over in Thailand doing a detox. Or...
For sure. I definitely see that in the near future. Sure.
Well, she's been a pleasure to be around this week, and I just want to say thank you,
too.
Ashley, for being so nice to us and showing us around. And I've been here before, but every time is different. So I would always say if you ever have the chance to visit a farm or work on a farm, do it. And if you've done it once, doesn't mean you've learned it all. So
That's absolutely true.
go back and be open to learning more.
For years. It's lifelong.
And as you can see, there's a lot of mosquitoes around. So.
I know, I'm just like, that's a big adjustment.
It's a big adjustment.
For anyone coming out here is the critters.
It is. So I'm gonna show you the Central Valley next, and then we're gonna check out the goats and the chickens. All right? Thanks, guys. See ya.
Aloha.